Shalom. In this video, we're going to talk about mourning and the sort of objective of mourning and what it's all about, especially when it pertains to the 3 weeks and the 9 days of mourning over the temple. And eventually, as we move our way towards teshuva, to the 9th of Av, when we commemorate the day of the destruction of the temple. A lot of times we might get confused and think that mourning is all about just commemorating some tragic event in the past, a day of zikaron, a day of remembrance. And that's not really the idea of mourning in Judaism. Yom HaZikaron is Rosh Hashanah, and it has nothing to do with remembering a past event. Rather, the idea of mourning is where we introspect. We look and see the cause of man's tragic existence. And we recognize the fact that it's man's shortcomings, most of the time man's sins, that causes these tragedies to occur. When it comes to the destruction of the temple, our rabbis spent much time in discussions that are recorded in the Talmud as to what sins exactly brought on the destruction of the temples. More importantly than the past events that brought the destruction of the temples, we know a teaching of our sages that until the Jewish people repent and change their ways from back then, from the mistakes that they made back then, continuously they'll be forced to suffer the tragedies of not having a temple and all that comes with it, God hiding his divine providence from the Jewish people. All tragedies stem from that status and that state of being. Until we correct those mistakes, whether they be senseless hatred that causes division, whether they be forms of idolatry that are not just bowing down to idols, but believing in superstition, or whether they are breaking Shabbat and not fulfilling it, until those are corrected, we are just as culpable, just as guilty of the sins and the shortcomings that our ancestors did that brought on the destruction of the temple. So the mourning isn't just commemorating a past event or past actions. It's our introspection and looking to see how we can improve so that we correct the status that we're in now of galut, of exile, until we're eventually able to rebuild the temple and enter a messianic era. May we see it soon. Shalom.